All right, thank you guys. Welcome to some Mountain West Conference action for college football week 12. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and as always, great to have you here today. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive into some week 12 Mountain West action. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off with a Thursday night game. Love this midweek college football action. It just really helps the week go by fast. But anyway, we're going to take a look at Utah State squaring off against Wyoming. And that's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern start time this Thursday night. Wyoming's the 20-point favorite, totals 47. We're 3-0 in our last three extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 3-0 in our last three Underdog tier package picks as well. And that Underdog tier membership costs just $4.99. Now, we currently have over 725 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And when it comes to this Utah State-Wyoming game, the Cowboys of Wyoming are 1-0 straight up at home this season. And of course, that was a 24-point victory over Hawaii, where they actually held the Rainbow Warriors to just 7 total points. That was a really solid effort, a dominating effort out of Wyoming. Now, the Cowboys are scoring 30 points a game on average, and they're rushing for nearly 185 yards per contest. Running back Xavier Valladay has touched it 82 times through 3 games for 397 yards and 3 scores. Valladay's averaging 4.8 yards per touch and 132 yards a game. Now, this Wyoming offense has also scored 9 total rushing touchdowns through 3 games as well. Meanwhile, defensively on the other side of the ball, this Cowboy defense is giving up just 95 yards a game on the ground as well. Linebacker Chad Mumma has 38 total tackles along with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Defensive lineman Jordan Bertinoli has 2.5 sacks on the year, 17 total tackles, and a fumble recovery for Bertinoli. And Charles Hicks also has a pair of sacks from that linebacker spot, 19 total tackles, an interception, and a fumble recovery. This Wyoming defense has 11 total sacks through just 3 ball games. Wyoming's also won their last 9 straight at home. Now they're taking on a Utah State team who just lost their 4th straight ball game, 0-4 straight up overall for the year, 0-4 against the spread in those contests. Fired their head coach a couple of weeks ago. The Aggies are averaging just 11 points a game on offense and just 112 yards per game passing. Utah State's completing just 49% of their passes, and quarterback Jason Shelley's thrown for just 2 touchdown passes through 4 games. Meanwhile, defensively, the Aggies' D is giving up 37 points a game, along with over 525 yards of total offense per contest. Utah State's failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 6 conference ball games as well, and of course, that dates back to last season. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, the Aggies saw 2 out of their last 4 ball games get over the posted number. They're 6-4 to the over in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Wyoming. Meanwhile, the Cowboys saw 2 out of their last 3 get over the line themselves. Pretty chalky lean here. Give me the Wyoming Cowboys minus 20 and the over 47 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines of personal leans out for college football week 12. And of course, this is the Mountain West edition. But before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 Underdog tier package picks on that site as well. And if you want to access the Underdog tier, it's only going to cost you just $4.99. And we'll give you 3 Underdog plays per week, at least. And we're currently over 725 members signed up and active on that site. So if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, I believe we got a Friday night game. I think that's it right there. Yeah, Friday night action. New Mexico taking on Air Force, 9:30 p.m. Eastern start time at Falcon Stadium. Now, Air Force is -7 at home, totals 55.5. Air Force is winless after 2 games in 2020. Losses to Boise State and San Jose State to start off the year. They also failed to cover the point spread in both of those contests. The Air Force Academy is averaging just 18 points a game through 2 contests. Meanwhile, defensively, they're giving up 33 points a game and over 250 yards a game through the air. Now they're taking on a New Mexico team who successfully covered the number in their last 2 straight. Pretty good against the spread in those couple of games. Nevada and Hawaii, they actually got the job done against. Now New Mexico's gaining nearly 6 yards per play on average, and they rush for 190 yards a game. Running back Bobby Cole has rushed for 226 yards and a touchdown this season. Cole is currently averaging 5.8 yards per carry. Quarterback Tavaka Tuioti is also averaging 7.4 yards a carry, and he rushed for 140 yards himself. Now, the Lobos have successfully covered the point spread in 7 out of their last 8 meetings with Air Force. And when it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of New Mexico's 3 contests on the season got over the posted number. Meanwhile, Air Force's most recent contest with Boise State actually flew 30 points above the posted total themselves. Give me the underdog, New Mexico Lobos, +7 in the over, 55 and a hook in that ball game. All right, next matchup, we're going to slide into some Saturday action. And our next game is a 3:30 p.m. Eastern contest, and it is going to be San Diego State taking on Nevada. 3:30 p.m. Eastern start time at Clarence McKay Stadium. This should be a good ball game here, folks. The Aztecs of San Diego State are the 1-point favorite on the road. Totals 45.5. The Aztecs are also throwing for less than 150 yards per contest. Quarterback Carson Baker has completed just 58% of his passes on the season, and he's thrown for just 3 touchdowns. The Aztecs' leading receiver, Jesse Matthews, is averaging just 43 yards receiving a game. Now they're taking on an undefeated Nevada program, Nevada, who just won their last 4th straight game this past. Nevada won their last 4 straight. And their most recent contest was a 27-20 victory over New Mexico. The Wolfpack's currently 2-0 against the spread at home, and they average 36 points a game at McKay Stadium. Carson Strong's thrown for over 1,500 yards already, along with a dozen touchdown passes. His favorite target's been wide-out Romeo Doubs, who has 31 catches for 645 yards and 8 touchdowns. Doubs is averaging a staggering 161 yards receiving per contest. Meanwhile, Carson Strong's throwing for nearly 380 yards a game himself. This Nevada defense is also giving up less than 190 yards a game through the air as well. Defensive back Tyson Williams has 27 total tackles along with an interception. Linebacker Lawson Hall also has 24 tackles on the year along with a sack himself. The Wolfpacks won 7 out of their last 8 conference ball games. And when it comes to the total on this one, Nevada's Week 1 contest with Wyoming flew nearly 20 points above the posted number for that contest. Meanwhile, San Diego State saw their lone road game on the season get over the line themselves. Give me the underdog Nevada Wolfpack +1 and the over 45.5 in that contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be a 5:30 p.m. Eastern start, and it is UNLV squaring off against Colorado State. Once again, 5:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff this Saturday. The Rams of Colorado State are the 16-point favorite at home. Totals 58. Now, the Rams are 1-0 straight up on their home turf. An impressive double-digit victory over Wyoming is the reason for that. Tight end Trey McBride has 17 catches for 268 and 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Dante Wright also has 15 grabs for 255 total yards himself. This Colorado State defense also has 13 total sacks through just 3 ball games. That's over 4 sacks per contest they're averaging already. The Rams D also has 5 takeaways through 3 games as well. Daquan Jackson currently leads this squad in tackles with 27 of them. He also has a pair of sacks and a fumble recovery from that linebacker position. Also want to take a look at Scott Patchin, who has 3.5 sacks on the season, along with 25 total tackles from the defensive line. And, of course, defensive back Marshawn Cameron also has a pick 6, a forced fumble, 1 sack, and 22 total tackles from this Colorado State secondary. The Rams have successfully covered the point spread in their last 6 games hosting UNLV. And speaking of the Rebels, yet to get a win on this season. They were 0-4 straight up on the year, 0-4 against the number in those contests. The Rebels are they're scoring just 17 points per contest, and they're throwing for less than $1.80 per game. UNLV's lost 10 out of their last dozen conference ball games. And when it comes to the number in this one, 6 out of UNLV's last 10 head-to-head meetings with Colorado State did get over the posted number. Meanwhile, the Rams on the other side are 1-0 to the over at home, 2-1 to the over for the season. Give me the Colorado State Rams minus 16 in the over, 58 in that matchup. All right, next contest, it is going to be San Jose State taking on Fresno State, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time. The Spartans of San Jose State, they're the 2.5-point favorite on the road, total 60 points. Now, the Spartans are 4-0 straight up on the season, 4-0 against the number in those contests. They're scoring nearly 30 points a game on average, and they're throwing for nearly 300 yards a game as well. Quarterback Nick Starkel has completed nearly 71% of his passes, and he's also thrown for 980 yards already with 9 touchdowns. Wideout Bailey Gaither has caught 27 balls for 432 yards and 4 touchdown receptions. Gaither's averaging 108 yards receiving per contest. Now, the Spartans have been very good on defense as well. They're allowing just 15 points per contest and less than 220 yards passing per game. Linebacker Kyle Harmon currently leads the team in tackles with 52 of them. Defensive lineman Cade Hall also has 5.5 sacks on the year, along with 15 total tackles and a fumble recovery. And safety Trey Jenkins also has a pair of interceptions from this secondary. 24 total tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery for Jenkins. Now, San Jose State has successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 9 ball games, and of course, that dates back to last season. So if you're into historical trends, these guys have been pretty good against the number over the past couple of seasons. Now, they're taking on a Fresno team who appeared to struggle with Utah State this past week at certain times in that game. The Bulldogs found themselves down 13-7 after the first quarter in that one, and they were also held to just 7 second-half points in that matchup as well. Fresno State's defense is also giving up 231 yards a game on the ground. They lost to Hawaii in their season opener by the final of 34-19. Now, total-wise, Fresno State's 2-0 to the under at home this season, 3-1 to the under overall for the year. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, San Jose State saw their last 2 ball games stay under the number themselves. They're also 3-1 to the under for the entire season as well. So with all that said and done, give me the San Jose State Spartans minus 2.5 and the under 60 points in that ball game. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It's going to be a late game. I'm talking about Boise State, Hawaii, 11 p.m. Eastern, kickoff at Aloha Stadium. The Broncos are the 15-point favorite on the road here, total 61. Boise State's giving up nearly 30 points per contest, and they're allowing 220 yards a game on the ground. They also lost by the final of 51-17 to BYU in their 3rd game of the season. And that was that BYU team, that's a team that Hawaii put up 38 points on back in December. And speaking of the Rainbow Warriors, they've won 2 out of their last 4, officially 1-0 straight up at home this season. The Rainbow Warriors are rushing for over 150 yards a game, and they scored 6 touchdowns this season on the ground. This Hawaii defense is also giving up just 163 yards per contest through the air. Defensive back Quentin Frazier has a pair of interceptions from this secondary. 24 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. Linebacker Darius Muasau also has, he's leading the program with 45 total tackles. Hawaii's won 7 out of their last 8 at home. Very tough to play in the paradise that is Honolulu. Now, total-wise, Hawaii is officially 1-0 to the over at home. They put up 39 points against New Mexico in that contest. Meanwhile, the Boise State Broncos are 4-0 to the over thus far in the season themselves. Give me the underdog Hawaii Rainbow Warriors plus 15, keeping this one close. And the over 61 in that contest. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.